Assessment philosophy. I believe that assessment is an important part of any classroom, no matter the grade level. However, it should be used in a way that is fair for all students, and the type of assessment used should be what best fits the age group. For example, for a high school math assessment, it would make sense to give them a paper with math problems on it and asking the students to solve it, then hand it in. But for a kindergarten math assessment, it may be more accurate for the teacher to observe the student during a math lesson or while playing a math-based game. A high school student most likely knows how to express their knowledge through a standard pen and paper assessment. However, a kindergarten student may be able to better share their knowledge by having a teacher observe them in a low-stress environment. If an assessment is thought over and tailored to the age of the students taking it, then it should be accurate in giving feedback to the teacher about the student's performance in class. This graphic represents different types of formal and informal assessment. As mentioned before, there are times when it is most suitable for an informal assessment, such as working with younger students, or when it needs to be quick, while formal assessments are more complex and can be used to try and gain a deeper knowledge of a student's understanding on the topic. Assessments should be made so that they are an accurate measurement of what the student is being tested on. If there are parts of an assessment that do not give data about what is being tested, then the results of the assessment cannot be trusted. For example, if I was testing a 7th grade class on their understanding of the plot of a book, but I put grammar questions in the assessment, it would not be valid. I think assessments should stick to gaining information about what you are testing the students on, because if the assessment is not valid, then the data is not accurate. Test reliability is a big part of assessment because it tells you if an assessment can consistently give accurate results. I think assessments should be reliable enough that if you gave the same test to a child multiple times, they would get roughly the same score. I think that this is important because if an assessment is not reliable, then it cannot provide accurate results. Both reliability and validity are important when creating an assessment, and no matter what the age group. They both should be equally thought about in the assessment process and are important if you want reliable data. When thinking about fairness of an exam, I believe it is important to recognize race, gender, language barriers, disabilities, and socioeconomic status. All of these need to be addressed so that no student is given an unfair advantage based on something that they cannot control. For example, if a student has a learning disability, then the assessment may need to be altered for them because it would not be a level playing field. Or if an assessment was given in computer format to be taken at home, socioeconomic status would come into play because not every student has access to a computer at home, so a different format would need to be available to those students. Overall, I want all of the assessments that I give out in the future to be set up for student success. It is important to take into account all factors that could contribute to a student not doing well on an assessment, because the goal of an assessment is to see what the student knows, and the results of assessments can easily be skewed if they are not valid, fair, or reliable. I also want to make sure that if I am unsure if one of my assessments is unfair, invalid, or not reliable, that I could ask a peer for their opinion to ensure the students are getting a fair and equal shot.